Hey everybody, welcome back to HitPoint, a JRPG news show, an anime news show, a niche news show, basically anything that either Baku or I are interested in, we're going to talk about. And guys, we've got some stuff going on this week that honestly, I thought it was going to be a slow news week, but it looks like we've actually got plenty of things to talk about.
Yeah.
We'll be
Surprisingly.
we'll be previewing some trailers, talking about some rumors. We'll be responding to super chats at the end of the episode, as per usual. And Baku, how are you doing this week, dude?
Man, it's a long weekend here for some of us with Veterans Day in the good old US of A, and I had the opportunity to take a day off on Friday, and it was just a much needed long weekend. I'm contemplating on taking off on Monday just to make it a 4 days weekend, but here we are. I didn't get to stream over the weekend, and I'm feeling some kind of like streamer guilt right now.
How dare you? I know. I get that
I
same
said I
feeling
was gonna
though.
do it. I was like, oh, I'm gonna stream some Trails in the Sky, and then I totally didn't do it for 2 days. For 2 days, I told people that I would do some Trails in the Sky, and then I didn't. So I
Mm.
failed people. I also said I was gonna take a look at Tactics Ogre, which I also haven't done. But we'll talk more about that later.
Okay.
How's your weekend?
Oh man. So my weekend's been it's been a week, dude. Honestly, it's this weekend has been a whole week. Oh, geez. So, just not pictures, man. That's all I'm gonna say. Family photos and like conducting it all, like be it like just the whole thing. I hate it. Sorry.
Family photo.
I know. I know. That's what's been on my brain lately. Is like the last couple of days have been dedicated, at least part of the day, to like coordinating some like family photos for like Christmas cards and stuff for me
Oh.
and Amy. And that was the easy part, but also for like the in-laws. And because I
Mhm.
have like nice cameras, I've been roped into being like the dedicated photographer. I'm not a photographer. I don't know if you know this about me, but I'm a tech support and I play RPGs, and the amount of knowledge that I have pertaining to cameras is like the just enough to make it work when I hit the go button, you know.
Yeah.
Um, but anyways, I have the cameras, so I'm roped into like trying to help entertain a small terror of a child and be like, hey, look at the camera, you know. It's just,
Mm.
it's been a few days, man. And anyways, behind all that, personal stuff, there's also been a lot of cool stuff that I've been working on. Finished up Golden Sun this week.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and I'm actually starting up Trails of Cold Steel on Monday over on twitch.tv/superdarkrpgs. Links in the description.
Oh,
So very
Trails of
excited
Cold
to
Steel.
finally embark on that. Going to be playing it on a PlayStation 5, the PlayStation 4 version of the game. So kind of excited about that. Finally embarking on it. And then, geez, I've also been fighting with my own AV equipment issue all weekend long.
Oh
I
no.
know. Yeah, I know. Last week you had an AV equipment thing that I helped
Mhm.
you overcome, but
Yes.
man, like I said it in a tweet last night around like midnight because I was up until like 1 a.m. last night trying to figure this stuff
Yikes.
out, and I was like, man, the amount of time that I would spend troubleshooting things that like HDCP that should just work, but for whatever reason don't, is just
Hmm.
like I vastly underestimated that. Like when I first started making YouTube videos, like it really feels like sometimes it's like 60% just fixing things and like making things work in a way that'll like allow me to do the thing, and then like 20% is actually like the creating process or playing the games. Yeah, I don't know. Anyways, that's, or at least
Yeah,
that's where the
no.
effort goes, I feel like.
I hear you. I'm glad that you were able to point me to the right direction to fix some of the audio video issues. Now I can move and start doing the rest of my room. I have some plans to redecorate and buy new furniture to redo the back of my room. So hopefully that will come soon enough.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Soon enough. Yeah, but I'm also streaming on Twitch. Some of you did not know, but also doing trails. Wow. There's a lot of trails going on, Mr. Derek. There's a lot of trails going on.
I know. Trails of trails all over the trails.
Trails of trails. I'm in an earlier trail. Mr. Derek's further along down the trail than myself. I am going through Trails in the Sky the third, and I believe we're in chapter 2, which is pretty early.
Yeah, it's very early on. You've only been, I mean, to be fair, you've been playing it for like 2 months, but you also took a month off during October to do some. Well, I was gonna say to do some Spooptober, but I think you actually just kind of took that.
No, well, I started the end of September.
Yeah.
And I had 2 streaming, and then I took the whole October off, and then now we're getting back into it finally. So
Yeah.
it was like, it was just the 3rd stream the other day on this game. So even though it's been like 2 months, but yeah, so that's happening over at twitch.tv/Bakusan JRPG. So come hang out. I'm actually gonna do some streaming today to make up for not streaming the last 2 days.
Now, Baku, are you gonna just like make more promises that you're not gonna? I'm just teasing, man. It's okay.
It's highly possible. Let's see how I feel after this
I was gonna
long
say,
show, because we have a lot to cover.
That's what I was gonna say. Like, I'm not just trying to make you sound like a flake, but we have a lot going on.
We sure do.
All right. Well, before we do dive into a lot of that other stuff, we do have some comments from last week that I thought we'd take a quick moment and respond to. Some from this one here is from Redinum, who says, and I saw this first thing like the night that we finished our episode, and I gave it a heart right away. He said, I can't believe Square Enix already failed No NFT November.
It was perfect. It was the perfect pose. It was the perfect pose.
Just chef's kiss. It was perfect.
Chef's kiss. Like immediately, I was typing the description. I was chatting with Derek after stream, and he was like, "Hey, take a look." So someone already commented. I'm like, "What?"
I know. I saw it, and I was like, "Baku, you have to see this." Well done, Redinum. Thank you. It made my night.
That was perfect. Yeah. Thank you. All right. Next, we got Lassie Bongo, who says, we still have daylight saving time here in Sweden. Don't know how it is with the other European countries, though. And Scott also mentioned that other parts of Europe also has the daylight saving time. So here's what I found, right? So I found that in 2019, the European Parliament voted to remove daylight saving time from the EU, which I assume already took effect because it was like 2019. And, you know, unlike us, European actually moves pretty fast with whatever they vote on. But it seems like the vote is stuck in the European Council, which I actually don't know what the differences are. I imagine it's kind of like an upper lower chamber again for like the EU. I don't know, but it's stuck somewhere. So yeah, sorry, European viewers. You're gonna have to deal with the daylight savings just a little bit longer. But
hopefully we'll be able to get through it. I don't know.
Yeah,
everyone
is sick of it. I'm just not sure. Yeah, why it's still here? It's just such an easy proposition. Just get rid of it. Like no one likes this thing from what I can see. And studies shown that it's actually pretty harmful to especially older folks.
People die the rate of heart attacks increases like 10% on the day you fall back.
Crazy.
Which is disproportionate compared to like, you know, the amount of time that you it's awful.
It's like 10% of heart attacks 10% increase that we can just like shave off with something we don't even really like. So it's weird.
I know.
Anyway, so that's that. And then we got one more from Mega X6 who says, I love the PS5 story. That's something I do and tell people in a similar manner. Glad you treated yourself, Mr. Derek. And actually, it wasn't even just Mega X6. There was like a couple of other ones. So it was just like, that just sort of encaptures like the sentiment from a lot of folks. So congratulations to your PS5 again.
Thank you. I'm glad to have a PlayStation 5. You know, I actually unpacked it the other day, And that's when I found out, like I was trying to get everything prepared. It, by the way, it downloaded and installed Trails of Cold Steel 1 in like 30 seconds. It's like, this is the power of SSDs in a console. Like, I mean, I've always had an SSD in my computer for as long as like 10 years or more at this point. So it's like the fact that it's coming to consoles now is just kind of like, wow, is it really only now coming? But anyways, but that's when I also realized, is like, this sure does look like 1080p, because it was. And then that started the whole rabbit hole of trying to figure out how to finally get it working in 4K. And anyways, that's enough of that. Let's think happy thoughts. I have a PS5 and my wallet is crying. Happy thoughts. Okay, moving along. We also got a voicemail. So let's go ahead and give that a listen here.
Hey, what's up, guys? Here from Texas. Big fan of the show. Now, Super Derek, now that you got the PS5, what is going to be your first PS5 title RPG that you're going to play? Great show. Keep with the hard work. Later, guys.
Oh, thanks. So the question is, what's the first RPG that I'm going to play on my PlayStation 5 now that I have a PlayStation 5?
Yes.
So I guess that kind of ties in nicely with the previous comment there. And so the first RPG that I'm going to play is kind of a toss-up right now. So the first ones that I'm going to experience on PS5 are either going to be Tactics Ogre Reborn or the new Star Ocean Divine Force. And I'm leaning toward Divine Force, but I don't know for sure. Now, those are the first that I'm going to try out. I'm going to try to do like an experience points video based on those. But I'm thinking that the first one that I'm going to play through will probably be maybe Soul Hackers 2, maybe.
Oh, okay.
Because, you know, I gave that a little bit of a play and really enjoyed it, my time with it so far, but I definitely want to go further into the game and see more of what it's got going on, because it was a lot of fun so far. But so that's the first one I think I'm going to probably complete, but at least to play Ogre Reborn or Star Ocean Divine Force. Yeah. So thank you so much for that voicemail there. And it just occurred to me that if anybody would like to leave us a voicemail, they may do so by using the link or the phone number at the bottom of the screen at 785-337-3805. So thank you so much for that voicemail.
Yeah, write that down. Send us some voicemails.
Please do. Yeah. So let's go ahead and move along here into our next section, covering some of the updates. That's right.
Yes.
Updates to previous releases. Now, we will also be responding to super chats at the end of the episode. So if you have any burning questions that cannot wait until the next episode when we listen to another voicemail or respond to comments, you may ask us ask away in the super chats down below.
Yes. Ask us questions. We love questions.
I don't know why it was so hard for me to talk this evening. You know what? I do know.
You're doing okay.
I'm running on like 6 hours of sleep or less, probably less, yeah. and I'm hurting. But we'll make it through this evening.
You get some good night's sleep tonight.
I hope so, man. I'm hurting.
Well, let's start easy. Let's start easy. Start us off with some updates.
Okay. Yeah.
Yes.
Updates. So let's go ahead and start us off with Valkyrie Elysium, because Square Enix has just released the promised November update for Valkyrie Elysium, which adds Hilda as a playable character. This Seraphic Gate challenge dungeon as well, and the very hard / Valkyrie difficulty modes.
Yes.
So yeah, if you've got yourself a copy of Valkyrie Elysium or have been enjoying that is now something that you can experience that they had already promised. So do you want to take a look at I think we have a trailer for it, right?
Yeah, that's a trailer for this DLC / update. So that's pretty cool of them.
Yeah, let's see what that is all about here.
Asgard and Midgard snuffed out the life spark of many. That is why I created you, my vessel of peace. Become my tool of intervention and save this world from doom.
I am a Valkyrie. Odin has commanded
That game does look pretty nice.
purify the souls
It
of the
does.
undead.
So Hilda who is that? Is that a character from a previous
Hilda
Valkyrie?
is another Valkyrie.
Okay.
It's actually not very clear if this has any connection to the other Valkyrie games. So
Okay, I'm not super familiar with the Valkyrie Profile games or Valkyrie Elysium. So that's why I felt like I needed to ask, like, is this Hilda, is that a Valkyrie from one of those previous games, or?
yes, but I'm not sure if they have any actual connection. So
Okay, or if
Yeah.
it's just sort of like they're included as like a skin or something, basically.
you know how like each of the breath of fire's like characters are like, oh, it's the same character, but they're also like not the same character. Like you're
Yeah.
not sure.
I
It's like
gotcha.
that. It's like
Okay.
I don't know. I'm reluctant to say that it is. Hilda
makes
certainly
sense.
has made appearances in other Valkyrie Profile games, but yeah, I'm not sure if this Hilda is the same as that Hilda. They have similar general design, if that makes sense,
Okay.
like dark armor, etc. But yeah, so that's pretty cool. You know, I can't help but think when I'm like when I hear people talk about the recent Square Enix games like Star Ocean, Valkyrie Elysium, Devil's Field, like in any other year, they would feel like they would have made bigger splash.
I know.
But, like,
I've
now
been
it's
thinking
just
about this lately. It does seem like Square Enix is really just like, I mean, some of this is the hose of flow of games was like kinked during COVID, nothing could get
Yeah.
through, and then they just unkinked the hose and just like RPGs everywhere.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I wonder if this is going to invigorate their fan base, or if it's going to. I don't know. I feel like a lot of people who would probably have bought a lot of these games are probably also like, pacing themselves because of money. Like they're releasing games faster than you could legitimately play through them.
Yes. Like Harvestella. Now Harvestella is relatively different just because it's a brand new title, but it's still eating some of the same, RPG folks' time. So it's still eating off the same pie as far as like resource is concerned.
Yeah.
So you have that, Valkyrie Elysium, you have Live Alive, you have
No, Live Alive is a very short RPG. So, I mean, as far as RPGs go, because it's, Super Nintendo RPG. So that might not be as big of a problem for a lot of people. But I think
you
that
add
also
all that together into one cluster of
hundreds of
just
hours
RPG. Yeah.
in a
And
single
it's all
month.
the same folks who would play these games too. So it's
Generally,
like-
generally, yeah, for sure.
There's a huge Venn diagram overlap. Right?
Now, this is another reason why I think it might actually be a good idea for Square Enix to like continue to narrow the scope of a lot of the games that they're creating. And like we were talking last week about how the fact that the Final Fantasy 16 was maybe going to be like 40 to 50 hours or 30 to 40 hours, something like that. And we were talking about like maybe why that's not a bad thing, actually.
Yeah.
So yeah. And I think that's another big reason for it is, if it takes less time to play through a game, hypothetically, their fan base could play through more of those games and buy more of those games. But that might also burn people out if it feels like less of a value, right? I don't know.
You know how like sometimes you have things that is just fluff, like it's just filler in a game, like it doesn't really add anything.
Yes.
And I think the less time I have to myself, the less time I have the game, the more frustrating it is when I run into the fillers. And sometimes you can get through the game and continue to play without dealing with the fillers. Other times, those fillers are not optional.
Yeah.
So
The optional
it's
filler
like-
is fine. I think like I was thinking about, poking a jab at like, trying to breed a golden chocobo or whatever, but it's like, that's optional. You can do that if you want to. And it's cool that that's an option. But like really more like imagine if Final Fantasy X made you made you become a blitzball champion in order to proceed, to finish the game.
jeez.
Like that would have
Jeez.
been very painful, right? Like, so,
Yeah.
narrow the scope, narrow the focus, and cut out the, a lot of the backtracking and
Cut out the
stuff.
fluff. Yeah, cut out the backtracking. No one cares for an exceedingly long game filled with fluff.
Yeah.
I
think it's
So-
usually around those slower points in a game where people tend to drop and then just or walk away for a while, and then they forget, where they were,
they
what
never
they were
come
doing.
back.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's probably where a
seen
lot
that
of the
too often.
abandonment occurs. So narrowing the scope is probably good too,
Yeah, absolutely. All right, next up in the update, we've got a Monster Hunter Rise Sunbreak update. Capcom announced that there will be a quality of life update regarding upgrade materials that will be coming to Sunbreak as part of the scheduled free title update 3. The new feature will allow players to get free upgrade materials from leftover upgrade points obtained from upgrading through something called Curious Crafting with their local smithy. So just makes crafting easier, makes it less time consuming, which is the opposite of what we were just talking about. Thank you for making this crafting game less annoying. But yeah, so that is coming again soon, towards the end of November.
Awesome.
All right, no trailers for that one.
Huh.
And now, but we do have some upcoming releases that we can talk about. So yeah,
Oh, yeah.
let me move on over.
Yeah, let me change that section here to this game's releases. Thank you, Baku.
Yes, upcoming releases. All right. First up, we've got something called the Neo Geo Pocket Color Selection Volume 2, which just to tell you that there was a Volume 1 at some point.
I had no idea there was a volume
Yeah, I
1.
had no idea there was the first volume.
Okay.
The second volume of the Neo Geo Pocket Color Selection will be available on the Switch, and the collection will include 10 different games. Some games are in Japanese only, which is very strange, but we have a trailer so you can look at what those games are.
All right, let's take a look at it. Ten Neo Geo Pocket Color. Did we even get the Neo Geo Pocket Color in the West?
I don't think so.
So the fact that any of these would be in English is actually kind of really awesome.
Well, they are in English. Some of them are. Some of them is Japanese only, which is very strange.
Yeah.
Kart Fighter Clash. Big Bang Pro Wrestling.
Yeah. I mean, how could anybody do without,
Unitron.
Okay, that looks pretty cool. Looks like a Robo Pokemon.
Kinda, yeah.
Robokemon.
Mega Man Battle and Fighters. So this one is in Japanese only. I don't know what that means.
I mean, that's probably
but-
okay. I mean, it looks like a standard pack. Or not
Puzzle
pack,
Link.
Oh.
Oh, geez.
Oh dear.
That looks like a headache. Yeah.
Yeah.
Nope. Neo Pokekun? I think this one might be in
Neo
Japanese only.
Pokekun?
I don't know what
Interesting.
I'm looking at.
I have no idea. The King of Fighters
Fighters-
Battle de Paradise. Interesting. Japanese only. Uh-huh.
Baseball, because of course
Yeah. I mean, I don't mean to sound pessimistic at all, but
you
it
do.
seems
Pocket
like
tennis.
it's maybe all the good ones were in the first volume.
Soccer, Neo Geo Cup 98. I mean, come on. How else are you gonna relive the 90s?
I mean, sometimes maybe I don't.
All right, I've
sorry.
included this because I feel like some of you would want this nostalgic hit. So there you go.
It's
for some
hard to
of you
feel
nostalgia
nostalgic
fans.
it's hard to feel nostalgic for a console that you never had access to in the first place. I
Hey,
don't know
some people might. Some people in chat might. I don't know. I didn't have a
Maybe.
Neo Geo, but yeah.
Is it? Oh, it is getting a physical version though, which is interesting. I wonder if that's going to be rare someday. Just
Could be.
Just saying.
Or it's in the dollar bin.
One or other. I mean, hey, those are not mutually exclusive terms. I mean, once upon a time, Earthbound was in the dollar
The
bin.
dollar bin.
Mhm.
Yeah, that's fair. That's
Yeah.
fair.
So, yeah, ¿Por qué no los dos?
Yes.
So,
All right.
yeah, that's pretty interesting. Moving along this week.
Moving along.
This week, the PS5 version of Ys VIII will be released on the 15th for North America and on the 18th for Europe.
Yes.
The game will run at 1080p at 120 FPS or at 4K 60 FPS. It's going to feature faster load times, high resolution textures, better all around visuals, and all of the DLCs from the previous PS4 version will also be included.
Yes.
It
Which is pretty
should.
big. Yeah.
It should also be noted, though, that any save files that you might have had on like the PS4 are not going to transfer over. So,
Yes.
yeah, do keep that in mind. Although, you know, if you haven't had a chance to play it already on either the PS4 or the Vita, you know, or the Nintendo Switch, then this is a pretty good way to go, I think. You know, especially if you are all about that frame rate, you know.
All about that PS5 performance.
I've never had a monitor that goes over 60 FPS, so you know, just I have no concept of like why would anybody want 120 frames? I don't know.
It does look smoother. It really does.
I'm sure it does,
Yeah,
but
it
I mean, like,
does.
okay, sure.
That's about it. It just does look smoother. You know,
I think we have a trailer for it. Do you want to take a look
do.
at that?
Yeah,
I wonder.
let's do it.
I wonder, is the trailer in 120 frames?
Absolutely not. But I sold my PS4 version and I bought the PS5 version of Ys VIII. And then when they announced the PS5 version of Ys IX, guess what I did? I just sold the PS4 version of Ys IX and got the PS5 version. I'm like, I'm moving on up, man. I'm moving on up.
Now, I will also say, for anybody who is curious if this game is any good, it is. And I have a full review talking about it from back when it launched on the Nintendo Switch.
I think Ys VIII has gotten praises all around. I have not really met anyone who goes like, oh, Ys VIII was terrible. Like,
Oh, I'm sure they exist.
Yeah.
There's probably somebody out there,
True.
but
There's always one hater somewhere, but
oh yeah.
yeah, most of the people that I've talked to were just a huge fan of Ys VIII, and I can't wait to play it. I'm still making my way there.
I mean, unfortunately, Baku, there are no bump mechanics, so
Oh no bump mechanics.
I know. So
How's
I
it an East game with no bump mechanics?
exactly. See, Baku, we've just made one more hater.
If there's it can't be an East game if there's not bump mechanics. You gotta just run into the enemy and just pretend that you've hit them
Yep, that's
at
what I
odd
do.
angles.
Where's the
Yeah.
realism? But yeah, keep your eyes peeled for that. Again, on the 15th for us here in the US and North America, and then the 18th for the folks over in Europe.
Yes. All right. Next we got a 2D platformer called RWBY Arrowfell by
Oh, yeah.
WayForward and Arc System Works that will be releasing this week on the 15th.
Mhm.
On PS4, PS5, Xbox One, Xbox Series XS, the Switch, and PC. No trailers this time because they didn't release any new trailers, and I don't feel like watching the same trailers the third time. So
Yeah.
there you go. Just a
Yep.
reminder.
Sweet. Keep your eyes peeled for that. Next up, we have a remake of a 2013 indie horror game that Baku's making me talk about. It's called The Forest of Drizzling Rain, which
Yes.
is coming out on the 16th via PC, via Steam. And the English localization will not, unfortunately, be immediately available at launch, but it will be coming at a later date. That later date? Don't
No
know.
one knows.
Don't know. But we can take at least a look at what the trailer looks like.
Yes. You can take a look at the trailer just to remind. We actually looked at this trailer before, but I think
It's been a hot
it'd be a
minute.
good reminder, yeah, of what we're talking about.
Yeah. What do we got here? The Forest of Drizzling Rain. Uh-huh.
So this game is completely
Okay.
remade with
Yes,
with a
I remember
new
this now.
it's a remake with a new version of RPG Maker.
Yeah.
So it's still
I-
RPG Maker, but it's a much newer version of RPG Maker, and it's built from the ground up with that.
That's cool.
Yeah.
I do definitely remember this. I remember talking about the walk animation throwing me off,
Yeah.
and it's doing it again. But that's okay. That's okay. It's a horror game. I mean, it's supposed to be unsettling, right?
Yes. Like that.
Yeah, that's somewhat unsettling.
With newly added endings.
Ooh.
I actually can't wait. I can't wait to play this, because I love like horror games like these.
It's kind of too bad that they missed the Halloween season for this by just a couple weeks, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Like if this came out last month, I think it would be a much bigger hit. Yeah.
Yeah, that they missed a trick. But I mean, even though right now there's no English localization, so even if they had released it a couple weeks ago, I don't know if that would have made a huge.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's preface. Let's rephrase that. If they released it a couple weeks ago with English, it would have been a crazy seller. But
I mean, it still
there's
could
always
be
next
though.
year.
Keep your eyes peeled if you're into into horror RPG sort of pixel art games.
Yeah.
I mean, there's not that many of them, but I really liked my time with Corpse Party, so I could see.
Corpse Party is great.
I mean, it's pretty dang great, actually. I stumbled into something pretty incredible when I just decided to randomly play it one day.
Learn something new about yourself, huh, Derek?
Yeah. That was the first RPG. Like, you can even hear it in the review where I'm like, I don't normally like scary stuff, but something, after playing Corpse Party, is like, I kind of get it now. But yeah, I don't know. I haven't really returned to it after the second Corpse Party, though. I mean,
it's gonna be that kind of. Well, Corpse Party 2 is not that great, so
it
you
was
can just skip
really
it.
not good.
Yeah, it's terrible.
I wish
actually.
somebody could have saved me that, but anyways, I think we're getting off topic.
Yes. I mean, this is HitPoint is
I know.
Baku and Derek getting off topic the show. So
that is true. Okay, fine. We'll keep talking about Corpse Party then, because
Corpse Party.
I still have Book of Shadow. No, Blood Drive on PS Vita sitting on my shelf, sealed, ready for me to open it up and play it someday. And I wanted to, but I don't know.
Maybe just keep it sealed and just like sell it, and then just get the normie Steam version and play that.
Maybe you're right, because I mean, it's the collector's edition. It's got like the big box and everything. So
oh wait, what? Wow, I didn't know you liked Corpse Party that much to go for the collector edition. What?
I liked the first one a lot, and I was like, I'm gonna get the other one. So yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
I've learned something about Derek today.
I know. That is my guilty pleasure, is Corpse Party.
Well, speaking of games made from RPG Maker, let's talk about this game called Finding Paradise. It's from I think some Freebird Games, and it is a highly acclaimed 2017 game that will be released on the Switch, iOS, and Android on November 18th. And I do make it a point to talk about iOS and Android because we do have viewers who are not really able to game on consoles. So
that is true.
Yeah, to tell you that Finding Paradise is coming to iOS and Android. If that's what you're able to game on, definitely pick that up. Because Finding Paradise is a fantastic game. It is not an RPG in the sense that you get to like fight stuff. I mean, heck, it's not really an RPG at all. It's more of an adventure, narrative adventure kind of game. But this remake. And I'm calling it remake because it's completely rebuilt in Unity with updated visuals, redesigned interface and menu, and autosave and other like QL improvements. So in my book, that's basically a remake.
It sounds like it, yeah.
Like, I don't know how much further you have to go into to be called a remake, but so all of that will be available for the Switch, iOS, and Android version. We can take a look at this new launch trailer.
All right, let's take a look at this here.
Oh, I can see the difference already. They got this like atmosphere, kind of like fog kind of thing going. Oh wow, it looks very different.
Looks really nice.
Yeah, this is the game where like you basically have to prepare to cry.
Oh.
Yeah, it's one of those games. Like it's gonna hit you in the feels, and like it's like your feelings is like a QB with no line, like defense linemen, and they're all just tackling you at the same time.
I don't know what tackle defense lineman. It sounds like sports jargon.
So it sounds like sports jargon.
Yeah, I don't follow.
I tried my best to sound like I know sport. Did it work? But just, you know, prepare to feel again.
Yeah.
This game, boy, it'll hit you. I think that's like all Freebird games. Like, I think that one mission only, to effectively make you cry with pixel arts. With effective storytelling and just, you know, great humor, great timing. It's just, I could say a lot about this, but Finding Paradise is just incredible. Highly recommend the story.
Looks pretty interesting.
Yeah.
It's a very pretty looking game, at least, if nothing else. But
Yeah.
but there's more than that. It sounds like, based on your experiences here.
I mean, the long short is, without any spoilers, you play as two scientists who works for a certain lab, and when it comes to the end of somebody's life, you're called on to help them relive their lives, basically, so that they can go without any remorse.
Oh.
And so, yeah, so you dive in to try to, you know, do certain things in their memory so that they can like go peacefully, if that makes sense. And that's the gist of it. I don't want to go too far into it, but there is such a service, and you work for such a company, and you basically dive into these people's memories. But yeah, so that's what it is. And this person is at the inch of his life, and you're gonna go into his mind to relive some of his memories, and there's like a story that gets unfold as you go into this quite unusual set of memories.
It sounds very personal and very like, I don't.
It hurts.
I don't know if
this one hurts.
I let's. I don't want to cry.
Yeah, this one hurts. Yeah, don't stream this unless you plan to cry on stream. I got close. I was like, oh, this one hurts. I'm
really bad about it. Dude, I cried during like the end of Terranigma and Earthbound. Like, I'm like, and that's not even like,
did you really?
They're not even supposed to, but yeah, I get choked up, you know?
Yeah.
That's just how I am, but yeah.
I had to excuse myself.
I would be ugly crying, I'm sure.
Yeah, it was like To the Moon and Finding Paradise are two different games that are just like very well known by Freebirds. And in both instances, towards the end, I'm like, I'm gonna be right back. I'm gonna use the restroom. That's when I'm like, okay, you can do this. you can do this. You can be strong. Just last the next like
splash
2 hours.
Some water in your face.
Yeah.
Eat some hot noodles. Just be like, oh, that's why I'm crying. These noodles are just, they're just so,
yeah,
they're so spicy.
There you go. Now you guys know why I eat spicy noodles on stream. The secret's out.
They're not even spicy. Baku's just crying because it's sad.
It's just ketchup.
All right. Well, we have another game here coming out here pretty soon.
Yeah.
It's called Monochrome Mobius, Rights and Wrongs Forgotten. So, after a couple of delays, Monochrome Mobius, Right and Wrongs Forgotten, from Aquaplus will finally be released on the 17th.
Finally.
This game is the prequel to the Urawareru series and takes place in the Inakamui. Inakamui.
This went exactly the way I thought it was gonna be. I'm like, Derek's gonna breeze through the Utawiri Mono, and then he's gonna get hit by the Enakamui. So like, I'm waiting for it.
Enakamui is okay.
Enakamui, yeah.
Enakamui, that one.
There you go. Yes,
in that province. So we have a trailer. You want to take a gander?
Yeah, it's relatively long, so we can cut through it anytime. But yeah, let's get a good idea of what we're looking at. There's some gameplay in here too, so I want to feature that.
Yeah,
because we kind of talked about it. This is going to be the first turn-based game in the series.
Turn-based? Well, suddenly I have completely full interest in the game then.
Well, Utawari Mono is technically turn-based too, but it's turn-based tactical.
Gross.
This is what?
I'm just kidding.
Excuse me.
I know.
You lost 50 viewers just like
How dare you? Kidding. It's okay.
No, but this is like, typical.
Yeah, like a standard
turn-based.
Yes.
Yeah.
A more typical standard turn-based RPG, party-based.
It looks beautiful for like the first time that they try to make a game like this.
So hang on, this is coming out this week.
Yes. Look.
Why have I not seen anything? How? This looks great. How have I forgotten about this already? I mean, I remember the name.
Because they keep delaying.
I remember the name, but I don't.
Yeah.
Jeez. Okay.
So I think it's a pretty good jumping point for people too, if they are just like confused about Utawari Mono, like I am.
Yeah.
Because this is the prequel. Like, it's not dependent on. I mean, you might get more enjoyment by knowing about, the Utawari Mono world. But like, I don't think it's gonna hurt you for like not. Like, you can just start with this.
Yeah, that looks really nice.
Yeah, for first like, let's call it open zone turn base.
Oh, I like that phrase. I like it. That makes sense. Sure.
Yeah, someone started calling things open zones versus open world, and it's kind of stuck with me.
Yeah, that makes sense.
It looks really good. It's a typical turn-based RPG.
Dude.
Strike first. Seize the momentum.
Okay, so this is coming
Stagger enemies.
On the 17th. That is...
Yes.
It is rad. Now...
On Steam, I believe, actually.
Is it only on Steam, or...
Let me take a look really quick. I forgot to... That's something I forgot to post.
I'm like, can I play this on PS5? Because...
Hold on.
Kind of want to.
It is only on Steam for English.
Oh man.
Yes,
well,
this is
that kind of. Yeah. I mean, I kind of doubt my RX 480 can run that.
It is on PS5 for Japan.
Well, lucky them.
I mean, there may be a PS4, PS5 release later on. You never know.
Yeah, I mean, it's. I would say if they've already done the localization, that's the expensive part.
If it's popular enough, they might just release on PS4, PS5. We'll see. But yes, it is being released on Steam.
Okay. Well, I think we'll go ahead and stop there. Yeah. So
I think we're good.
We do have a little bit of additional news here regarding the Aqua Plus here. They also have a special Urawareru Mono broadcast that's set for the 25th. That you can watch on YouTube, and we have a link in the description if you want to go ahead and like bookmark that or something. It's not going to be for another couple weeks, but good to have your things planned. Hit the watch later button.
It's there.
Yeah.
for all the fans of the Utawa Runimon series. I haven't gotten into it yet, but it looks intriguing. And every person who's come by is like, "You like tactical RPG? Have you played Utawa Runimon?" I'm like, "Yeah, but I heard that's like 50% visual novel and 50% tactical." They're like, nah, it's more like 70% visual novels and 30% tactical." I'm like, "Wow, you just made it worse. Thanks." No, but for what I've been told, the story is pretty incredible. And so if you are into visual novel and happen to not hate tactical RPG, it could be the right thing for you. And this prequel is definitely not even tactical. So I don't know how much of it is going to be like an RPG though, but we'll see.
You know, I mean, Persona is about 50% visual novel, really.
No, jeez, we're just making fun of we're making fun of the long door in Trails in the Sky Third, where like we walked into the first long door and it was about Tita and it was like 2 hours long story.
Yes.
Just when you think it's over, it's like the next day. I'm like, wait, how is this sequence not over?
I know.
And then they're
sometimes,
like, okay, fine.
Yeah, sometimes the third also feels a bit like visual novel. But some of them you can play and some of them are just like a movie. But I mean, hey, what it really is like a big, long, like fan... Like, and when I say fan service in this context, I mean literally just it's something for the fans. Not in the sense of like, this is, you know, full of TNA. Because it really isn't, but... Yeah, the third is really great.
I liked the story. Don't get me wrong. I really liked. I was telling chat, I'm like, I really liked the story. I
just gotta break it up.
Broke it up a little bit.
Yeah,
like
you at least
let
need
me
to
fight some stuff. Bring me back. Let me fight some stuff. Bring it back. You
at
know,
least let me save the game. So if I need to like run to the restroom or something.
It was super long sequence. It was cute though. I really liked it. But yeah. Anyway, so now that we're done talking about things, let's talk about like the big boy, the big release of the year, the biggest, potentially largest JRPG launch of the year. You already know what it is.
What is it?
It's time for the new Pokemon. It's the new generation of Pokemon's coming out with like a motorcycle looking legendary that I absolutely hate.
Well,
I hate it so much.
I know that
the legendary looks so stupid. I hate it. Yes, and
do you want to lead with the trailer just so I can refresh, because I've been kind of living under a rock on this one.
I don't know if they showed the legendary in the trailer, but yeah, let's take a look at the trailer.
Okay, we have a lot of news that we can talk about, and you can.
It's a lot of news for this one,
and
as you would imagine.
Like, how long is this trailer? Like, you could probably just go ahead and like
not that long.
Hit your talking points if you want to while we watch the trailer.
It's not that long.
Okay.
Yeah.
See,
I think I picked the shorter one. Yeah, but it kind of does the game justice by watching this one versus the other one. There is a newer trailer, but the newer trailer was more like showcasing the theme song. Yeah, see, there you go. Those are the legendaries with like the wheels.
With the wheels.
I was like, what? Like, why?
Well,
I hate it so much. I hate it so much. I hate this so much. Oh my god.
Yeah, that's, you know, I like the concept of having a vehicle. I don't like the concept of it being a Pokemon. Like I remember,
much less the legendary Pokemon.
Yeah, like cars and trucks and stuff, they exist in regular Pokemon. Like, just give me a motorcycle, that's fine. Oh well. I feel like a horse is like a real like motorcycle animal.
Yeah.
Right? Like that's the closest real analog.
Which we had one since Gen 1.
Yeah,
we've had Rapidash since Gen 1. Those
Ponyta.
hot professors, those beautiful, gorgeous professors. Like, they're freaking models. Like, unnecessarily beautiful professors.
Yeah, the wheels. I think it's the wheels, because it like makes me want to think of like, wait, do they have an axle? Like how?
There's a reason why wheels don't exist in nature.
They do in microbiology.
True.
But otherwise, you're right. Yeah, they don't. And that just that melding
in the scale of
I don't. You know what?
Regular
Actually,
animals.
if the legendary Pokemon was also like a steel type Pokemon or something, then maybe, yeah, maybe
That's
then.
fair. They also aren't like ghost keys in the wild. That's fair.
Yeah, because
It is
there's
Pokemon.
yeah, and like Magnemites and stuff. Like yeah, that's a non animal based Pokemon, right? And so I can
It's got
square that in my
jets.
mind. Yeah, but like when you have something that looks when you have something that looks organic with wheels, is I don't know, that the meshing
a little
of
jarring.
machine. Yeah, it's I
A
don't.
little jarring.
It is a bit jarring. I don't know.
But anyways, and I've said this in previous talks about Pokemon, so I'm just gonna say this one more time. Yes, I'm well aware that I'm not in the demographics that this game is promoting to. Like I don't matter.
I don't know if
so,
that's true.
you know?
I mean, kind of, but not really. Like, sure, there's a lot of RPG fans who love Pokemon. There's plenty of non-RPG fans who also love Pokemon. A lot of kids, a lot of adults. So this is really supposed to appeal to a really broad audience, and it does, which is why it's the most successful turn-based RPG series
Ever.
Yeah, and not only that, but the most widely loved like series. Just any
I
video
think
game.
so.
It is.
Yeah.
It is like the biggest franchise in the world.
It is absolutely the biggest franchise in the world. So I was gonna say that I say that, but then there's a Japanese commercial that I added. I don't know if you added it in there.
I did. I did.
But there's a Japanese commercial that begs to differ. And I don't want to talk about anything. I just want you to watch the commercial and then yeah.
Is it? Do I need an adult?
Just watch the commercial.
All right.
Wait, did you?
That's not it.
Oh no, that's the next one. The next one. There you go. This one.
Okay.
This is a man from the Pokemon world, age unknown. She's asking about the Pokemon world, and she's like, and he explained what the Pokemon world is. It's a place where you can do everything and also do absolutely nothing if you want. And then he invites her to the Pokemon world. And then it says basically like where the freedom of wind blows, so to speak. So basically, this is a commercial from Japan that is trying to tell the adults in Japan that yeah, you can definitely play Pokemon and like not be ashamed. Yeah.
That's yeah. So I guess I guess you were heading that way, and I cut you off at the pass.
That's okay. As long as you know what transition I was going for, that's all good.
Well, I appreciate that.
All right, time to talk a little bit of details in Pokemon. So, the game will be released in November 18th. There are a couple of things that we want to touch on. So first is a new feature called Terror Raid. That will be added to the Scarlet and Violet that will allow you to team up to 4 players in a time battle to take down a powerful Terra Pokemon. Players will be able to catch the Terra Charizards and Terra Eevees in scheduled events sometime between November and end of December. The Nintendo Switch Online membership will be required to participate in Terra battles with other trainers online. You will also need to download the version 1.0.1 update, which will be available as soon as the game launched to play online. So I don't know why that just wasn't like, it sounds more like a thing that they need a patch in for you to go online, but just know that you need to do that so you don't turn on the games like, oh, how come I can't get on? It's like download a patch. It's day 1 patch. Anyways, players will play players with play records from Arceus, Brilliant Diamond, Shining Pearl, Sword Shield, and Let's Go Pikachu and Eevee will get Rotom phone cases with respect to each of the game series. So Arceus has one, Diamond Pearl has one, Sword and Shield has one, Let's Go Pikachu and Let's Go Eevee also has like a different case. So there are 4 phone cases in all that you can use in game. Compatibility with Pokemon Home is slated for spring 2023, so you're not going to be able to access Pokemon Home immediately. With Pokemon Home, once it's linked, you'll be able to transfer Pokemon between the two games, so between Violet and Scarlet, and also bring past Pokemons into this version of the game. So that's coming in spring 2022. You can receive a special Pikachu via mysterious gift feature until Tuesday, February 28th as part of the early purchase. Yeah, early for this game is anytime before February, according to the Pokemon Company.
Okay, so I guess they're trying to break it out by like quarter or something, right?
Yeah. As long as you buy this game and get it before February 28th, you can get the early purchase bonus.
Okay.
Yeah. Good for them for being so lenient. So that's what we've got for the probably largest JRPG launch of the year. I mean, regardless of how you feel about the franchises, and it's like this long-lasting popularity is it's hard to deny.
Can I say one thing here, as because you did mention that day one patch and how it's weird that it wouldn't be included. On the other hand, though, like at the same time, if there was going to be like a day one patch, it would the one I would like it to be is something that enables internet functionality, because like 20 years down the line, the patch is not going to be available. People aren't going to be playing online, but it won't affect the base functionality of the game, and I really appreciate that.
Oh, that makes sense.
You know, so,
now that you mention it, that does make sense. Yeah. A lot of that functionality. Well, hopefully they'll find some other method to make sure some of these functionalities can stay intact. But we shall see how Nintendo, because Nintendo does not have a great record on preserving their own games, which is frustrating because it's all like mostly first party.
Yeah.
So.
Oh gosh, I wonder if this is. You know what this is probably going to do? Now that I'm thinking about how evil Nintendo can ruin things with their lack of support.
They're twirling their mustache right now. They're villain mustache.
Yes, that's exactly they're so what they're probably heading off at the pass with this patch here is if people can't get that patch and apply it to their games in the future, they might also not be able to run, private servers down the line.
I suspect that people would just be able to code their own.
Yeah, you're probably right. You're probably right. But who knows? I mean,
if people are that dedicated, yeah.
It might not be like that. I wonder if that's just part of the reasoning. Like just to add additional difficulties for people down the line trying to enjoy the game beyond its expiration date.
Suspicious.
I know.
Suspicious.
I don't know. Or maybe not. Probably not. Anyways, let's time to switch our section here to.
Well, not yet. So on a separate news related to Pokemon, our thumbnail, sir. Ash Ketchum from Pallet Town. It finally becomes the Pokemon World Champion.
All right.
in the Pokemon Ultimate Journeys anime on November 11th, 25 years after starting this journey. 25 years. This 10-year-old.
No, he's 35 now. Let's be real. He's as old as I am.
This 10-year-old. He's 10 year old canon. Like it's just.
He is 35 years old. I don't know what took him so long to become a world champion. I did it in like 60 hours.
Right. The Pokemon World Champion.
On second thought, I do know what took him so long. And it's that he uses Pikachu and nothing else for like 90% of his battles, which is why I made that. By the way,
yes,
the fact that I had this on my computer now, like just a super buff Pikachu, just has me cracked up.
That Pikachu, by the way, is still the same Pikachu, and is still in Pikachu form. Us Ash,
not a
the world champion. Yeah, not a Raichu. And here's the thing, it wouldn't surprise. I didn't watch the anime, but it wouldn't surprise me if like he just used like 5 Pokemon to beat like the other 6. And Pikachu just like is just chill on the sidelines, like Pikachu stats too low, but I got these 5 super awesome Pokemon, so we're good, Like,
yeah, I mean he brings along the Pikachu just so it can get the XP from, throw it out there real quick, bring it back in. It's like level 999 at this point.
It probably
because it's there for every battle. He never puts it away. That's its whole shtick is that Pikachu just doesn't like it in the Pokeball, right? That's why he hangs out with Ash all the time, right?
I mean, this is the same Pikachu that can use an electric attack against a sand Pokemon and do like effective damage. So, no rules. This Pikachu is not bound by any rules at all. Like, forget the levels.
All of the other Pikachus, yeah, they have to abide by real like laws of Pokemon. But this
Not
Pikachu
this
is, impervious. He's a Pokemon god.
Oh my god. Yeah, this thing is hilarious.
Yeah.
But anyways, yeah, that is the big news is that he's finally the world champion. All right.
Well, yeah. Thank you for covering that. Okay, now it is time to switch over to some games that were just recently announced.
Yes.
Starting with this one, it's called 7 Days to End With You. So Playism announced that they will be bringing the popular puzzle/visual novel game 7 Days to End With You to the Nintendo Switch. In this game, you don't know a single word in the language of this world, so you must deduce the meanings of the words that the person before you uses in order to communicate with you. So the relationship between the story and the two characters is built on the words that you interpret.
Yeah, this game is super cool.
So it's kind of like being stuck in an area you don't speak the language in. Kind of pretty interesting. So in addition to optimizing the game for the home consoles, the Nintendo Switch version will also come with a slightly different endings, or with slightly more than just one, slightly different endings, and also new endings that are completely exclusive to this version. So do you want to take a gander at this trailer?
This is going to be the shortest trailer possible. It's like 18 seconds long.
I know, and we know that like 10 seconds of it is going to be the end splash screen. But let's take a look at this.
Let's take a look at it. Yeah, that's kind of the game. It's just weird symbols, and you just have to like try to figure it out.
Fair enough, because
you have to figure it out. Yeah, and
if they show you too much, it's the whole thing is the mystery, the lack of ability to interpret adequately. And
yeah, that's right. And
surely whoever they're interacting with would know that like you don't speak the language, right? So.
Yeah. So there's a lot of playabilities. The game goes through like basically a 7 days to End With You. It goes through like a 7-day story. So each of the playthrough is like relatively short, and there's a lot of replay value because then the second time you come around, you may interpret the story the different way. And because you change, like, so there's like a dictionary that you open, and then you can type in like what I think this string of symbols mean, what I think this string of symbols mean.
And it'll show you your like interpretation in the
right.
Okay.
And then the story changes and the ending changes based on how you interpreted the words that you didn't know what they meant.
Okay, so that's why it's a puzzle game. And
yes,
interesting.
It's a language puzzle game.
It's like a cipher kind of deal.
Yes. And it's super awesome. And I've heard just like nothing but great things from people who are like into this kind of puzzle gameplay. And this you can tell from just reading the docket that there are multiple endings to even the regular game that's available right now. There are multiple endings. So looking forward to this on the Switch version.
That's right. And that Switch version is coming out sometime in winter of 2022. But if you want to give it a shot before then, with, different endings and fewer endings, you can play it immediately on iOS, Android, and on PC via Steam.
That's right. More iOS and Android games for you, cell phone users.
Yeah.
All right. Every time I think about that, I can't help but be reminded of like, was it BlitzCon that one year?
Oh, don't you guys have phones? I know, me too.
Yeah,
that's I still I think of it too. I'm glad I'm not the only one who still gets flashbacks to condescending, Blizzard.
Ooh. You guys have cell phones, right? Everyone has cell phones. Yeah, play it on your cell phone.
No.
What are you doing?
It's not even like that. It was more like, don't you guys have cell phones? Because like I guess because people weren't excited about stupid
playing games on cell phone. Yeah, it's just because I have a phone doesn't mean I want a game on it.
I know.
Anyways, moving forward, we've got a game that we've talked about before, and now we're getting a release date, and that game is called Void Terrarium. So, Nipponichi Software America just announced the release date, the Western release date for Void Terrarium, and that's going to be February 28th, 2023 for North America. For Europe, Australia, and New Zealand is going to be March 3rd, 2023. So a little bit later, a couple of days later. Yeah, so we've got a new trailer that goes along with the release date. So we can take a look at that.
All right, let's give it a gander. Now, this is one of those like cute but gross and sad.
I don't know if I want to say gross.
Maybe not gross, but cute and sad. But I mean, she had like a she's got the fungus growing out of her eye.
She's got fungus growing out her eye. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's gross.
Yeah.
So that kind of gross, like the
yes.
Yeah.
So you play as I think RWBY. Yeah, you play as RWBY, who has to like basically search through a factory, find things, and build like keep this girl alive, basically.
Yeah. All right. God, I just feel bad for that little girl.
Yeah, she is the last living human. And like through the game, you get to see like sort of what led up to this point. You get to see like the past.
Yeah, the things that kind of led up to the world the way they are.
Yes. I think there's some like hacking game mechanics in this version too. So
yeah.
Yeah, so you're like scavenging, you're finding like different parts, upgrading her terrarium, you have to fight enemies. So it's a dungeon crawler, right? In that sense.
Mm-hmm. That's pretty cool.
Search for remedy. Her arm just fell off.
Uh-oh. So that
shouldn't happen.
Uh-oh. What?
Yeah, there's some kind of weird change of game style there.
It's pretty cool.
Yeah. This is a gorgeous looking game.
It really does look really nice.
This is one of those games that I'm just like, I want to play, but I don't have time, but I want to play.
I wonder how long it is, because if it's like
I wonder how long it is too.
Because that could also be a big determining factor. Is like if it's only like 5 hours, if you could finish it in a single like stream, then that would probably be a good palate cleanser, right? But
yeah, no, I doubt it's gonna be like 5 hours, but
yeah,
maybe more like 20 hours.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well,
all right.
We'll
so
that
game that game will be available on PS4 and Switch on release. Pre-order is available at the Nisa's online store right now.
Sweet.
Yes.
Okay. Well, we also have another game that was announced, and we have a release date now for it. Tales of Symphonia Remastered, which has been kind of released to large amounts of... I don't know. Like a lot of people are kind of excited, but a lot of people are, I don't know. We'll talk about it in a second. Yeah. So Bandai Namco have announced the release date for Tales of Symphonia Remastered and a release date trailer for it as well. First, do you want to take a look at this trailer?
Yeah, let's do it.
All right, let's check it out.
They can't disappoint us any more than what they have already done.
Well, honestly, like the thing is, I personally don't have issue, but some people really are very disappointed by the 30
I have
frames.
I have the PS3 version precisely because of how much I don't care.
Yeah.
Here is hot coffee.
Well, didn't the PS3 version have 60 frames? or
The
is it-
PS3 version?
or was
I
it
don't think
just
so.
the-
No,
Was it just GameCube and
it's GameCube.
Okay.
Like only the GameCube version has 60 FPS.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. It just doesn't strike me as a particularly big deal if it's 30 or 60 because it's at the end of the day it's not. I mean, it's an action RPG, but it's not really action-y. Like it's still menu-based combat, kind of like the first one that I played, Tales of Fantasia, right?
No, I think the
bit.
later Fantasia, not Fantasia, later Trails games is definitely more action and more
Are
action
they?
each time. Yeah.
Okay, well, I don't know. I didn't remember it being particularly action heavy when I was playing it a long time ago. I mean, like, there's action, but not like where 60 FPS would have made a big difference. But I don't know. Doesn't bug me, but bugs a lot of people.
It bugs a lot of people.
and those people that it bugs are very, very vocal about it. So, just be aware that when it comes out on PS4, Switch, and Xbox One, that you're not going to want it, most likely.
Yeah.
Because it's only got the 30 frames per second. So,
Yeah, I
you do
bought
you.
the PS3 version because it comes with like the second game in the PS3 version, so I
Yeah.
don't have to use like a stupid remote to play it. And I think it's like probably the only like real playable version of that game that's in existence. If I ever want to play it and have time to play it, but we'll see.
So-
yeah, I do want to play that like the second. I've heard people say that it's not good, but I kind of want to be the judge of it. So, anyways.
So in addition to the standard edition, fans can also not pick up the Chosen Edition with the physical game steel case and some art prints and stickers for PS4 and Switch only from Bandai Namco's store. So if you want to not
Yes.
buy those, that's where you can go get them and not get them because it's only in 30 frames.
February 17th, guys, next year. All right.
Can I just say for a second that it's like these are RPGs, they're stories. Like it feels so lame that people can be so reductive about the experience and like, I can't play it on GameCube because I don't have a GameCube, but I'm not gonna play it because it's only in 30 frames because 60 frames it's garbage. Like there's this prevailing like attitude among so many people, and it baffles my mind.
I mean, 60 FPS is not even like that anymore. People are like 120 FPS. I want 120
I know.
FPS.
Yeah. It's just
Yeah.
I don't know. It just I don't know.
Look,
it seems weird to me that people would pass up just like a really well acclaimed game just because of like that mental block of like I cannot view something only in 30 frames.
I think my take is this: if it's a new game, especially AAA, and it's not 60 FPS, like that should just be the standard at this point, right? It's like there's no real reason for you to stay at 30 FPS.
Yeah.
And if you don't, then that's just odd at this point. If it's a remastered game, I sort of give it a small pass. Like if you can't make it 60 FPS, then okay. But if you cannot, then that's kind of fine too. Like if that's just how it is, then just how it is. Like as long because the fundamental thing about this kind of remaster is so that you can play it at all in a newer console. It's not necessarily to up everything, right? Of course, you want it to be like higher resolution.
I want them to be the definitive way to play. I want it to be 60 frames. I want the symphonic orchestral version of the soundtrack included, but I mean, and Bandai Namco, they probably could definitely do it, but especially, I don't know. I'm guessing that the reason is because they are porting the PS3 version because it's probably the version that they have, access to the source code, and so much of the work's already been done for it. You would hope that they could just patch in 60 frames, but the fact that they can't, I don't know.
Someone explained to me why they couldn't do it, and it sounded reasonable. don't want to recite it and then have it be wrong and then have someone in a comment yell at me like the next time.
If I had to
But
guess,
just yeah.
if I had to guess and make a guess out of, like what a lot of older games did when they would do animations is they would add like keyframes that the figures would be in,
Yeah.
but then like they were like static, like they were very staccatic. What's the word where it's like basically there's no in between movement. It's just like here's one frame, here's another, and here's another, but there's no like connection between those points. So like interpolating the movement between those was like it would require a lot of manual tweaking.
Yeah.
So I don't know if that's necessarily what it is here, but I know that like in Chrono Cross, for instance, a lot of the animations just were not like recorded in a frame rate that like could be easily adjusted,
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know if that's actually what it is in this case or not, but
Yeah.
that's kind of part of what it is. But anyways,
speculation.
but with
you know, it's
GameCube,
okay.
with GameCube though, if it was already 60 frames, then they should have something to draw from, but it would probably have to send them way further back in time to like old source code, if it even exists, to find it.
I heard the issues that they added things on PS2 that they kept and they ultimately kept. And then so it was a toss up between, okay, do you want 60 FPS with none of the additional stuff, or do you want the additional stuff and keep it at 30? Yeah, that was like the decision point. They couldn't do both for one reason or another. So
That makes sense. I mean, they probably could, but it would have just cost way too much to do, I'm sure.
Prohibitively expensive to bring a remaster to market. So yeah, it's what it is. Get it if you want, don't get it if you don't want. It's,
Get it on Steam and mod it if modders are willing to do the work.
yeah. I mean, the Steam version is already out, so
Yeah.
Yeah, it's been out for a long time, actually. All
That's true.
right. So we do want to talk about this one last game. Well, not one last game, but one last thing before we move to like the big like
Oh my God.
of games. Yeah, I know. When I saw that, I was like, oh no, we have to cover this today.
I know.
But anyways, this game has nothing to do with that blurb. This is actually the newest title to many people's guilty pleasure. The Neptunia Sisters vs. Sisters just got a release date from Idea Factory. In this title, the goddess candidates are sent to investigate a laboratory where they found the Ashen Goddess, who then trapped the girls into a deep sleep capsule. The game continues 2 years later when the candidates awaken to a completely changed world. Let me take a look at that trailer and see what that's all about.
All right, let's give it a look.
It's going to be a lot of pastel purple, telling you right now.
Oh, you
It's
nailed
the
it.
pastel purple. It's the pastel purple. Of course it is, because it's Neptunia.
Yeah. So you are a Nep fan, huh?
Oh, yeah.
Is this what you
Definitely.
would call a guilty pleasure?
This is definitely a guilty pleasure. I hate how much time I've spent in Neptunia. The battle system seems to have changed quite a bit, too.
It looks a lot more fluid than what I've seen in the past.
Yeah, it's not it doesn't look like a turn-based battle anymore. Yeah, like the allies are free running around. So to me, this looks more like a Tales of series kind of battle.
Oh, okay.
Like Star Ocean Tales kind of battle.
Yeah.
Like you enter a battle instance in like a circular arena and you just free run around it and fight.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That's
Interesting.
pretty cool.
Yeah, I want to see, because what I do think though is two things. First, the game company behind the Neptunia series, they are which is Compound Heart. They are trying to be taken as a more serious RPG game developer.
Yeah.
So like starting to move away from a
Just
lot
the
of
pure
fan
fan
service.
service.
Yeah,
Uh-huh.
they certainly do fan service.
You
Let's
said
not
doo-doo.
kid ourselves. They they will have fan service, but like a lot of their newer games have much darker stories and heck, even what's that one game called that I really liked? oh shoot, I cannot remember the game, but it's this one game where they talk about a game developer who got trapped in the game world and you have to help her escape from it basically. And that story is just like plot twist after plot twist after plot twist after plot twist after plot twist, to the point where I'm like, okay, I seriously don't know where this is taking me, but I'm in for a ride. And it was fabulous storytelling, one of the best stories like that I can remember in recent years in the RPG. Definitely has fan service in there. But I was trying to get is like they want to have that, but at the same time, Neptunia has sort of been the like test bed for them for new battle mechanics. That then they like whatever works they take to like some other titles that aren't necessarily like all bubbly and like girl power. So it's just like, you know, it could be anything. Like it could be like a dark horror game, which is like, this is one other game that they also made, and I also forgot what it's about, but it basically has something to do with like dragons and witches, and it also had like a pretty dark story. Death End Request, thank you. I was just reading I was just reading chat. Death End Request, yeah, Death End Request had a really good story.
Yeah.
Like really, really good. It's basically RPG slash corpse party storytelling.
I think I dropped in a couple times
yeah.
while you were playing that on twitch.tv/Bakusan JRPG. Links in the description down below.
Links in the description down below. And the reason why I even talk about Corpse Party is because the guy who wrote the story for Definite Request is the guy who wrote Corpse Party. So you can see where that's coming from.
Yeah.
So I'm excited for Neptunia, not necessarily for Neptunia itself, though I am. But the battle system looks interesting, and I'm hoping that they would take what they learned from this and then apply it to some other game that wouldn't be like a guilty pleasure, you know. Like I don't want to have to preface that, right? So we'll see what happens. So this game is slated for a January 24th, 2023 release on PS4, PS5, and PC via Steam. The pre-order for the physical version is available at the IF store site. Limited edition has been revealed, but only available for wish listing, not for pre-order. The limited edition will include a steel case, a hardcover art book, a soundtrack, and a large mouse pad, which is actually pretty cool for the fans. Europe. I meant to say Europe will get a separate limited edition called the Calendar Edition, which would include the game, a desktop calendar, not a PC desktop calendar, but like a physical desktop calendar, and a double-sided A3 poster. I'm just like, who uses a calendar? Like a physical...
People in businesses and offices that like...
People in businesses.
Like people with real jobs, you know, where they go and they do things and they have offices with desks, you know, and they need to know when things are happening. You know,
but Neptunia, though, just...
Yeah, because... So, guys, we also had this other thing that happened on the 9th, just a few days ago. And I had the opportunity to actually kind of watch it during a lunch break. So there were a few noteworthy games that we'll go ahead and talk about. So let's go ahead and start with Goodbye World. You know, which as a title, by the way, was pretty interesting. I was like, hey, I get it, because like Hello World, if you're a programmer, is like one of the very first things you learn how to program, right? But Goodbye World, if you are programming some form of escapism, is kind of like a nice little nod to that, and also so I like that title a lot. So anyways, the game follows programmer and game designer Kani, and graphic designer and scenario writer Komuda, who are working on an indie. I'm sorry, Kumade. You are correct. Kumade, who are working on an indie game through 13 chapters of narrative adventure. You want to take a look at this here?
Yes. It looks really good. By the way, we're not going to talk about every game that happened during the showcase.
No, there was a lot of crap. So we're not going to we're going to skip a lot of the junk, but this one actually looks really nice.
Yeah.
Like the pixel art, the sort of environment, the actual game that you play looks like an old Game Boy.
Yes.
Oh, it looks like something straight out of Kirby or something.
Yes.
It's so cool. And it's really meta, I feel. I mean, obviously it is, right? but it's all about
Oh,
like
I
the creative
love this.
process, and that is something that has really I mean, being a creative myself, that is something that really appeals to my sensibilities. So it's slated for the 17th of 2022 here, so just a little bit later on this week, and it's coming to Nintendo Switch, and also it's going to be on PC via Steam.
Yes. All right. Next up, we got a game called Coffee Talk Episode 2. Hibiscus and Butterfly from the developer Toge Productions comes the sequel to the cozy Talk to Your Customers game. Let's take a look at the trailer, because that's probably tell you a lot more about this game than, you know, I can just verbally describe.
All right. Well, hang on. I got to click on the correct one here. There we go.
There we go. So there was a previous game called Coffee Talk. And it's a lot like Valhalla, except it's not.
I recall this indie from a while ago, actually.
It's not cyberpunk. And instead of having cyborgs, you have like different, you know, people that aren't necessarily human.
Mhm.
Instead of making cocktails, you're making different like coffee drinks.
Mm-hmm.
And this is the second episode to that.
That's pretty cool.
And
You
you
know,
just
it seems super chill.
Yeah.
Like
you talk to people, you learn about their lives. That's how the story proceeds. It's very relaxing,
I
but
feel like
also
this
has
game
like a
is
very
gonna.
interesting.
I feel like though that this game is gonna set an unrealistic expectation for how much a barista wants to listen to your crap.
That's actually true. That's gonna ruin a lot of Starbucks baristas' days. Like, oh no, now the people think that's my job.
Bro, I just want to get through my day.
I just want to make you a grande mocha so you'll leave me alone.
I know.
This game is coming out in spring of 2023 on the Switch and PC. Yes, I know this is the Switch indie showcase, but we'll tell you where else these games are being released. All right.
So moving along, we have A Space for the Unbound. It's another title from Toge Productions. It's a Space for the Unbound is a slice of life narrative adventure game set in the 90s rural Indonesia, and it's also got some awesome pixel art.
Sounds super cool. Like, just they had me at 90s rural Indonesia, because that's, you know, that's like a thing that people don't really talk about, but people have stories there that we don't get to explore in like the game format. So I'm excited to see it.
Yeah, I was really intrigued by it as well, because it's like you said, it's just something, it's beautiful for one, but also it looks like sort of like familiar, but also not. It's I don't know. It's you get that sense of like nostalgia for a place you've never been before. Like this has that. Objection. Okay.
Wonder where that's from.
Uh-oh. So, yeah, it doesn't sound like it's going to have like combat.
There will be mind diving and there will be psychic powers, but there won't be any combat.
Yeah, it doesn't look like there's going to be any combat, but it does still look really cool. It is slated for release on the 19th of January 2023, coming to PS4, PS5, Xbox One, Xbox. Nice typo. The Xbox Series X,
saw that.
Switch and PC. Glad I caught it. Didn't just I am Ron Burgundy myself.
Zipbox.
That's not how I would have pronounced it. No. Anyways, so yeah, it's coming to all platforms again at the middle of January. So keep your eyes peeled for that indie. That looks really cool.
Looks super good. Yeah. All right. The next game is one for Mr. Derek. It is called World of Horror.
This sounds like it's right up my alley.
It will be exiting early access on Steam and launch for PS4, 5, Switch, and PC via Steam and Good Old Games in summer of 2023.
And also, it's got pixel art, but this one's different pixel art because it's monochrome. And it kind of looks like an older point-and-click PC adventure game. Kind of maybe like old Macintosh kind of inspirations here with the black and white monochrome screen. You know,
it's been said that this is at least in part inspired by Junji Ito, which is like the sort of the master of like this kind of art aesthetics in horror, but also something else. I forgot like where else they got their inspiration from. Like Lovecraftian sort of lore,
some
too.
Cthulhu and
Some
stuff.
Cthulhu stuff in there. Yeah, the world of horror. I've been recommended this many times, and each time I keep saying that it doesn't look like something I want to play. But the more I look at it, maybe I'll give it a spin next year. Maybe next Spooktober I'll give that a spin. I've also been told that this is an RPG, but I don't know to what extent it is an RPG. So that's what I was told. So, but I didn't see any combat in there, so I don't know. But yeah, looks super neat.
All right, so we have another RPG coming out. It's a wrestling RPG called WrestleQuest. It just got a May 2023 release date frame. Let's take a look at the trailer.
Oh God, I cannot with this man.
If you think you got the stuff, make sure you keep your eyes peeled. Because it's gonna be a smackdown, brother!
I'm actually looking forward to this.
I know, it actually looks pretty
It's a
hilarious.
wrestling turn-based RPG.
Yeah, I feel like I can see, like,
Is that a
Andre the
summon?
Giant? You know,
Yeah, is that a summon? Was that a summon just now?
it looks like, I don't know. It's like if they made an RPG out of like 90s like WrestleMania. You know,
Yes.
even the trailer or the title looks like it's straight out of like WWF WrestleMania, you know? So I mean, as far as like wrestling goes, I would have to say that this one is the cream of the crop, you know?
Oh jeez.
If you know what I mean. So, yeah, there's a what is this? Did you just add this?
No,
event?
that's the. So yeah.
Okay, that's right. Okay. So yeah, if you missed out on the rest of Indie World and want to see all the crap that we didn't cover, that I'm just
There you go, Derek. There you go.
That's
what
cruel.
that is.
Then you can find the link in the description down below. Yeah, sorry about that. It's not crap. It's just stuff that doesn't appeal to me because it's not an RPG or even like, you know, adjacent. So
I guess there were things that were appealing. It's just like not appealing enough for my sensibility and also our time constraint, right? Yeah, if we had like a 3-hour show, I'd go for all of them. But alas, we can only cover some of them. We'll leave the rest of those for your viewing pleasure, and we'll include the link, of course, again in the description down below.
all right. So I believe that covers it for this section. So let's go ahead and switch us over to industry news.
Industry news.
So,
Yes.
what is going on in the world of industry? Well,
Industry.
in game industry, 13 Sentinels third anniversary broadcast.
Yes.
And we've going to be to celebrate the third anniversary of 13 Sentinels. Atlas will be hosting a special broadcast on the 28th of November at 7 p.m. Japan time. So
Japan Standard Time, yeah.
So the broadcast will include appearances from a couple of voice actors, including Ami Koshimizu, Takayuki Ishii, and Matsumi Tamura. So
Yes.
Keep your eyes out for that if you're a fan of the 13 Sentinels title. And yeah.
And I believe there are a lot of people who are huge fans of 13 Sentinels. Like Vanilla Games, they release one like maybe every like decade. But
Mhm.
each time they release something, people just absolutely like eat that
Eat it
shit
up.
up. So-
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh,
It's yeah, Vanillaware, man.
yep.
There.
Vanillaware. So moving on, we've got another piece of news that I think Sonic fans will be super excited about. You
I'm
guys
pretty
did
excited.
it. Yeah. Sonic Frontier now has the highest concurrent peak of all Sonic titles on Steam to date, with more than 19,000 concurrent players on November 9th,
That's
beating out the
incredible.
previous title holder, Sonic Mania, by almost double the players.
Whoa.
Yeah, I
that's-
know. Yeah.
Okay, yeah, that's
Isn't that
pretty
crazy?
significant. Yeah.
Isn't that crazy? The previous, I think the previous highest concurrent was like 11,000. This is like 19,000. So yeah, almost double. Not quite, but close to it.
Okay.
Also on Steam, the review is currently overwhelmingly positive. So it's not just like people just got, curious and all decided to play it and then trash the game. No, it's
yeah.
overwhelmingly positive. So we're going to guess that all the fans are really liking this newest entry. I'm sure everyone has some bones to pick with,
Sure.
because it's new, it's different. But I mean, I think overall the impression is that the people are liking it. So congratulations.
It's weird because I'm just so used to Sonic games releasing and like doing terribly.
Yes. It's so refreshing for them to not get bombed
I
somehow.
know how they pulled it off. Hey, congratulations.
Yeah.
That deserves a completely sincere round of applause because
Absolutely.
They've had a rough go of it, and the fact that they've kept trying and finding new ways to do things and eventually like settling on something. Hey, if this is the future of Sonic, then hey, that's pretty good.
Also, the new Sonic Frontier has fishing, so it is effectively a JRPG.
Oh my gosh,
Yeah.
it has fishing. Well,
It is now a JRPG. It has fishing.
all right. Well, there it is.
How else do you categorize the game?
And that's why we talked about it today, guys. By the way,
Exactly.
So, moving along,
Mhm.
Tri-Ace producer Shingo Mukaitoge. Yep, I probably completely butchered that.
Good enough.
Yeah, in a recent interview with Japanese game publication Inside, the guy commented on the possibility of a new Star Ocean title. He says, "We truly made Star Ocean 6 while trying to meet everyone's expectations. So if it sells well, then I suppose the possibility and opportunity for a Star Ocean 7 would arise. But that's not all. Additionally, Mukataigo help. Mukataigo
It's Mukai Toge, but oops. There
Okay.
we go. Yeah, try that again.
Okay. I'm
Yeah.
like, hang on. I was like, that was way harder that time. Mukai Toge also mentioned Valkyrie Profile 3 as a possibility as well. Stating that this is an entirely possible thought of mine, but I would love to make
personal.
personal thought of mine.
Yeah.
But I would love to play to make a Valkyrie Profile 3, as it has been quite a long time since Valkyrie Profile 2 was released.
Yes. So that's what he said. So again, this is just a Japanese publication called Inside. He had interview, and these are just sort of like the highlights. I mean, the whole interview is a lot longer, and we've linked it down below if you want to get like a translator and go through the whole thing. So we've cited the source, but effectively it's just two things. Star Ocean 7 is a thing if Star Ocean 6 sells well, which is a no-brainer. So go buy Star Ocean 6 so that Tri-Ace can, first of all, stay in business.
Yes, first,
but also potentially make Star Ocean 7. Doesn't suck. And Star Ocean 6, by all accounts, there are graphical issues, but it's fun to play, and it didn't suck. And I guess that's what we can all, just hope for now. And, give them some time to turn around. Like, I know a lot of people didn't like Star Ocean 5. I thought Star Ocean 5 was fine, but a lot of people didn't like Star Ocean 5. Star Ocean 6, it didn't suck, and people were having fun. So maybe Star Ocean 7 would just outright be good.
Yeah.
But that needs to happen, and for
So
that
hold
to
on.
happen, Tri-Ace needs to survive first.
I've heard really good things. I feel like when you say it that way, it sounds like people had mixed opinions. It sounds like overall they're mostly positive opinions of Star Ocean Divine Force from the circles I've been in, at least. Like even Scott from RPGFan.com was talking about how much like it was actually good, and he's a hater.
It actually wasn't bad, was what he said. So
okay, actually not bad.
Actually not bad,
which is very high praise coming from this guy.
From Scott, yeah.
So
no, I bought
for
the
a Star
game,
Ocean game specifically.
No, I bought the game full price after what he said. Like literally, he said it. I think he said it to me during my stream, and then we ended stream. I got on Amazon and I bought the game immediately. And I'm like, well, if Scott says it doesn't suck for him, then it's got to be good for me because I actually like Star Ocean. So yeah, but I'm just taking it as like an aggregate, like with the frame rate issues and the graphics kind of weirdness on the PC version specifically. Like there are complaints, but at the end of the day, it is a fun game to play. So I think that's what matters the most. So hopefully the next game will just like blow your mind, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. But the other takeaway I think is the fact that he does not consider Valkyrie Elysium Valkyrie Profile 3. He's noticed how he's like, yeah, I want to make Valkyrie Profile 3. Like that's not a thing that exists right now. Yeah, Valkyrie Elysium, not Valkyrie Profile 3. I would like to make Valkyrie Profile 3. So, bring it back to old school turn-based RPG and call it Valkyrie Profile 3. One can hope, because that's what I want to see. Valkyrie Profile 2 didn't do it for me because it didn't capture the essence of Valkyrie Profile 1, in my opinion. Now, I know Derek hasn't played it, but in my opinion, Valkyrie Profile 1 was about this Valkyrie that goes through and travels the world to absorb the soul, and in doing so, see like the different stories of these souls and the tragic end and and all these things, right? So it lets you see like the different sides of humanity. It questions people's morals and yada yada, right? So it's pretty good. Valkyrie Profile 2 is more of a personal story to the Valkyrie herself. But it was not necessarily a great story. I mean, Valkyrie Profile 1 also talked about the Valkyrie's personal story, but like it was like towards the end of the game. The Valkyrie Profile 2 was like a different take on it, and I didn't think it captured what people liked about Valkyrie Profile 1. So hopefully Valkyrie Profile 3 can sort of get back to form to sort of use the Valkyrie as the medium to talk about the different life story of these different characters who are living in like a really harsh time, right?
Yeah.
Where death occurs in abundance because war and all these things happen. So it was pretty cool to see in Valkyrie Profile 1. I want to see more of that. So there you go, buddy. Mr. Shingo Mikaitoge, if that's your name.
If that is your real name.
If that is your real name, please be sure to see what people liked about Valkyrie Profile 1 and try to capture that magic and not just like release like a clone and just be like, it's a similar battle mechanic, so there you go. It's like, that's not quite it.
Now, just to clarify, somebody in the chat said Valkyrie Profile is returning, and it's like that's not quite what we're saying.
No.
Just temper your expectations, hype responsibly. What we're saying is that the producer, he's interested in doing it again, but he's not part of Square Enix. Like Square Enix ultimately will be the gatekeepers on whether or not they get to do either of these things. Whether that be, the new Star Ocean or a new Valkyrie Profile. Yeah. Be vocal if you want it. Let Square Enix know that you want Tri-Ace involved. Definitely do those things. Yeah. But still, I mean, that's still saying like he hasn't, like, think of it another way. This is confirmation that they are not currently working on one, right? Yeah. Like that's really what this is the most confirmation of, but they want to, which could be important. So hopefully they do well enough with Star Ocean 6 here that'll pull in enough money to make them relevant in Square Enix's eyes, really.
Yeah. Speaking of which, I'll be streaming Star Ocean 6 after Trails 3 so that I can show off the game to more people, and hopefully, even if I can even convince one or two people to like buy the game after seeing it played, then I feel like my job's done. Then they can perhaps convince another one or two people to get the game, and so on and so forth. That's how word of mouth works.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then
Yeah,
they tell
so-
two people, and they tell two people.
And before you know it,
So
Tri-Ace is
on.
not like bankrupt anymore. Who knows? Yeah.
too
I
soon.
know. Anyways, you know what else is confirmed? According to Nihon Falcom's latest financial report, the company is planning to release Ys X, at least in
Oh.
Japan.
Oh,
In Japan.
they're gonna ease into it in
Japan,
2023.
in Japan, on PS4, PS5, and the Switch. So that it really just came from like one line of this entire financial report, but that's all we really have on it. Noisy Pixel did a nice compilation that you guys can read about. I mean, maybe I should add a link to that too. But like, it sort of highlights like all the things that we know about Ys X so far, so you guys can take a look at that. But just want to let you know that next year could be the year for Ys X if there are no delays.
Yeah. Let's hope that that 2023 is an easy year.
Oh, jeez. This year has just been crazy, and I don't know what next year's got for us.
Well, I will tell you that it looks like we've got a new first look at the Legend of Heroes Trails of Cold Steel Northern War. Tatsunoko have just dropped their first trailer of the Northern War, which will feature a brand new heroine named Lavi. There will be some minor spoilers involved to Cold Steel, so y'all have been warned. But we've got a trailer. Yeah. Do you want to take a gander at it, or are we gonna get copy strike?
Let's give a full 10 seconds for anyone who does not want even the remote smidges of spoilers to Cold Steel. I've asked people if this spoils people for Cold Steel, and I've been told no, not the trailer at least.
Okay. I was gonna say. All right. All right.
But, all right. Okay.
Here we is. Starting this trailer. I'm watching this.
Yes.
So that you don't have to be spoiled, but I have to be. Oh, okay. So it's a spoiler
looks
for like the anime.
freaking great.
Yeah. Oh, look at that Sakuga.
That's Lavi. This one right here.
Oh man, that's a very pretty
It's a
looking,
beautiful
game.
animation.
Anime. Called it
Yeah.
a game. Man, my brain is stuck on RPGs.
Music's great so far.
I wonder if I'll see any characters I'm familiar with. I kind of doubt it though.
You probably won't.
Yeah, because it's completely different area, and
Yeah.
you know. Okay, that looks pretty cool.
I'm kind of hoping that like she'll show up in like a later Kuro game, because like, oh, by the way, Lavi will be here. It's like, hey, cool.
Yeah, that'd be pretty cool. So, the Northern War will be airing in early 2023.
Yes.
You will be able to watch it through Crunchyroll. So,
Yes,
yeah,
Crunchyroll. No need to ask which subscription service airs this anime. It's gonna be on Crunchyroll. Done and done.
All right. So,
All right.
we've got some super chats to do some responding to here,
Oh,
guys.
jeez, not all the super chats.
Okay, so
right,
starting
let's
with
see. What do we got?
Fluppy Dogs, who renewed their membership here for 5
Hey!
months. Thank you so much for that. They said,
Thank you for the membership.
love you both. Well, thank you so much, Fluppy
Love
Dogs.
you too, man.
Love you back. All right, we got another one from Fluppy Dogs a little bit later on. Says, I am Santa, not the creepy one from the Shady Mall in the 90s. The 90s version. So they said, what would you like for Christmas the most? this year?
Christmas, peace and quiet.
Oh man, that would be.
I just want peace and quiet. Like, if you asked me what I want, like last month, I would say I want my computer to work again so I can stream. But I got that working now. I got my AV stuff working too. So everything's working now. Nothing's breaking. Now I just want some peace and quiet. I just want some peace, quiet time so I can play games.
I know. Just want things to work.
Yeah, just want no one to bother me, and I can just play games. There's a lot of games to go through. I just want some me time. That's all I'm asking for. Is just me time. What about you, Derek? What do you want for Christmas?
I don't know. I'm always bad at this. I don't know. So yeah, I want things to work, but that's not like a Christmas gift. I don't need anything at this point. Like that's the hard thing. Amy is like, she sees my collection of video games behind me, right? And she's like, so like she doesn't know what I have and what I don't have. Like what you gonna do? Like go into GameStop and pick out a random RPG? I probably have it. It's like I don't know. So she was she was trying to get me a PS5 for my birthday actually, and as it turns out, that was impossible.
Yeah.
And now I have one, and so she's like, "Well, now what am I gonna do? I don't know." So
as I've aged, I've turned into Santa Claus myself every Christmas, where I'm just buying people things, buying my nephews things, my sisters, my mother, and like none of them knows what to get me at all because they have more mainstream taste. And my nephews, I just get them like games or whatever, like, you know, get them like Splatoon or something. They'll be happy, they'll be fine. So they're not hard to shop for. But for me, it's just like my family has absolutely no idea what I want. So they just don't. They just take me out to eat or something.
I'll tell you what I would like is I would like to be able to come out to the West Coast and visit family, and it would be pretty cool to be able to do. Gosh, if we could swing that, it'd be cool to do like a Christmas episode together or something.
Yeah,
that would
absolutely.
be rad. But
actually, going to Japan is my next thing. But that's something I'm already doing next year. So yeah, that's planned. Yeah,
did I say West Coast? I meant East Coast.
East Coast.
Yes.
I was like, you want me to fly out to Cali? I mean, I don't mind. But
no, my family's on the East Coast right now. Okay, it's funny because when I turned 18, my family moved away. So they're out on the East Coast and I'm stuck in Midwest now. Bleh. All right, so we had another super chat here from Francisco Lira who says, "Oh my God, Harvestella is already out. It was buried."
Yes. It was out.
It was absolutely buried.
It was out.
Yeah.
I got the game for my friend for her birthday because she's big on life simulator games, farming games, you name it. And to her disappointment, it is not really big on farming at all, but also kind of weird as far as like an RPG is concerned. So she was like not having a good time because the expectations is kind of skewed. But I've heard that a lot of people are having a lot of fun with it, especially with the weird plot twist that no one really expected. Because when we saw the game, Harvestella, we're expecting like Final Fantasy-ish, high fantasy kind of game with farming mechanics, right? Well, it turns out there's time travels and aliens. So, and it's like a huge part. Yeah, and it's a huge part of the story. It's not even just like a tiny little like smidgen. It's a huge thing that, and they tell you about it within like the first like 5 minutes of the game. So it's not like
they kind of bury in the lead here,
deep
a bit.
Secrets. Yeah.
So like they talked about the quiet or whatever, but
not the quietest. Yeah,
but not the aliens.
And everyone's just like, what is this? So. Yeah, but it's been a pleasant surprise for all the people I've talked to.
Okay.
Other than my friend whom I bought the game for. Like the one person that I was really hoping would enjoy the game didn't, unfortunately. But almost everyone else I talked to, they are enjoying the game. So take a look at it if it's something that you might be interested in.
All right. Well, we got another one here from Happy Console Gamer who says,
"Hey,
guys, wake up. RPGs suck."
Ah, no, I will never wake. No.
I know. You're not my real dad.
Never.
Never. I was going to say if I woke up and RPGs sucked, I'd go back to bed.
Yeah, that was like the PS3 era. That was the reason why I
Yeah.
just ignored RPG for the most part in that era. I mean, not all of them sucked, but like just like a vast majority of them really didn't hit the mark. Especially
Yeah.
the triple A's. So it was
I mean,
unfortunate.
it was really lucky that that was the era that like started like Dark Souls and Demon Souls and stuff, right?
Yeah.
I think that that was a saving grace of the era.
Mhm.
Looking back over here now, it's just nothing but like Yakuza and gross.
I think Tales of Grace is in the PS3 era,
Oh,
right?
and
Tales of Grace was-
Xillia, yeah, Grace's
yeah,
F.
Xillia,
Yep.
Yeah, Graces was good. I'll give you that. Graces was good. Anyway.
Fallout. Yep.
Fallout.
Yeah. I mean, there was some good stuff. But
Yeah.
yeah, that's
But for an entire decade, like just some good stuff is not good enough to like pass for a whole decade worth of things. Yeah. So definitely more of a dry spell during the PS3 era.
all right. And then we have one more came from Bring Back Fluffy Dogs,
Hey.
who wow, they said family photo recovery / Baku room renovation fund activated. Are
Hey,
either
thank
of
you
you
so much.
hyping responsibly for the upcoming physical release of Chained Echoes? That game
Chain
looks super
Echo.
nice. Oh yeah,
I think there's a physical copy. There's a
That's
physical version for Chain Echo, right?
yeah, that's what they're saying. Are you hyping responsibly for that upcoming physical release?
Oh, shoot. Yeah. So that's summer 2023. That's next year.
Yeah.
We got time. The
Gotta
physical
pre-order.
edition.
Gotta pre-order
Yeah.
that. I mean,
let's
gotta hype
see.
responsibly first. But I mean,
Who am I buying it from? Let me see. Who am I getting the physical edition from?
that's a good question.
I'm looking at it right now, so you can, do your thing.
All right. Well, they also went on to say the first press games offering are an example of what I expect from special editions. I would gift a copy to each of you, but the super chat will have to suffice. So very much
I
appreciated.
appreciate it. Yeah, I'm looking at the physical. Oh yeah, it is from First Press Games. It will launch PS4, Switch, PC in summer 2023. It actually looks really nice.
Let me take a look
the,
at this. I haven't actually taken a look at this.
I'm gonna post it
Release.
in. I'm gonna post it in the chat just so folks can look at it too. Yeah, it looks really good.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
That is that's looking pretty nice.
More
right
than
now.
I expected from a limited edition. But yeah, no, this game looks gorgeous. We've said it so many times, like, as we watched the trailer, we're super excited. I need to get my hands on a physical copy because I just don't think the digital copy would do this one justice. But unfortunately, it's due out like a good. Well, here's the unfortunate part, but I'll tell you the good part. The unfortunate part is this game comes out on December 8th, while the physical edition will have to wait until the summer of next year. That's a whole 6-7 months later.
Yeah.
The good news is my backlog will keep me pretty busy until at least then, so I don't have an issue.
I can confirm. I can confirm that my backlog will keep me healthy and full for a few winters, I think. That's really.
Did you just skip his 300? Oh my god!
Yes, they did. Yes, they did. I know. That's. Whew.
Thank you, but also why?
That's a good question. Thank you so much, Fluffy Dogs. Very much appreciate
Thank you, man.
that. All right. Well,
all right.
And it just occurred to me that I feel like my collection of video games, by the way, it's really this is my version of being a prepper. Like for when I'm like hunkering down throughout like COVID and pandemic or whatever, when you can't go outside anymore, at least I'll have video games to keep me going for like 7 to 10 years.
Yeah, man, my games is just keeping me sane. My games and you guys are keeping me sane. Streaming's kept me sane. So
yeah,
it's nice.
It's kind of way off topic, but I mean, whatever. It's the off-topic show. So do you also feel like streaming kind of like helped keep you like mentally engaged during pandemic lockdown?
I was telling this to my community, and what I realized is that streaming has done more for me than even just that, because what? So COVID started
2020.
what?
Early
2020,
2020.
early
Mhm.
2020. So 2 years.
Yeah.
These 2 years, and heck, even before then, like there's been a lot of like major life changes to me. I've switched jobs a couple of times. Each time with like an advancement.
I feel like I've been there for each one.
Oh yeah, right. Like I've gone back to school. There's a lot of like big life event that's happened that's sort of like changed my day-to-day life. But there's sort of this like one constant, and that is at the end of the day, I can go and stream and I'll see the same people and we'll hang out and we'll just play games and just hang out.
Yeah.
So not only has it kept me sane, it's also kept me very grounded. As all these other crazy changes occur in life, buying a new home,
Yeah.
get right back into streaming. It's like boom. It's like this place, this room is completely new. I'm paying a mortgage, but hey, I'm still streaming. So that's it's part of a two-part answer. Maybe
That's absolutely been
It's
keeping
related.
me sane and grounded because I've been going through some changes, moving from Seattle. Like this was a big part of what kept me like sane and
Right?
even able to function during like that period of time when I had all of my things like being held hostage by a moving company. Like there's this whole
Oh, I remember that.
that whole
That was
saga,
crazy.
the whole
yes,
moving
yes.
like having people to like talk to and like just be a part of, like even like it's kind of crazy how much that's become like a part of life and kept me grounded as well. So
Yeah, man.
we had another super chat just pop
Hello.
in here as well from Kansad, who says,
Mhm.
"Hi guys, love the show. Hardest game? What is the hardest game, Baku?"
Love your comment. The hardest game, like as in the game's difficulty, or the hardest game to like swallow?
I'll say dealer's choice.
Okay. The hardest game I think I've
think
ever
to swallow.
played.
I think to swallow sounds like the fun question.
The hardest game to swallow.
Yeah.
One of the Neptunia games, because I was going through a phase where I was trying to play all the Neptunia games, including all the side games. I remember one of them. I forgot. I think it was like Neptunia U or something,
Mhm.
where like you go into like an instance. It is an action game. You fight through these enemies. And somehow the enemies, when you get enough damage, like their clothes rips. And I'm like, all right, that's it. I turn it off. I'm like, I can't I cannot. It was extremely repetitive. The gameplay was not fun. And just mind-blowingly, like mind-numbing. Sorry, not mind-blowing, mind-numbing, like fan service that was just like, no. No. So I nope. That was the first and only game I've ever like noped out of from streaming. It's just no. I was like, we're not playing this game anymore. If I could delete the game, I would. It's just like it didn't matter. It's stuck in my Steam like collection forever once you buy it. So Anyway, so what about you? What is the hardest game for you to swallow?
Oh, the hardest one for me to swallow. So I don't know if I have one like that, but I think that the one that just did not jive with my play style or me mentally, like just was probably, and it's probably one of the games I gave the most scathing review of that I've done, and that's Kingdom Hearts Chain of Memories.
Okay.
Chain of Memories was the Game Boy Advance game, so it was kind of card-based combat. So right off the bat, like that's not something that I've got a lot of experience with. But the fact is that when they made it onto the PlayStation 2, they like instead of having kind of like a top-down view, they gave you control of like a 3D camera, and you have to have your enemy like in sight. And it was kind of like in the mid to late games, and I was starting to fight some of these higher level bosses who would teleport across the stage, and like I would be trying to attack them, I'd be trying to use special moves and stuff. They would teleport out of range of the camera, and so like I'd have to like turn the camera slowly and pan and like try to reorient and then quickly react to the super attack. It is like it was not working for me at all.
Gotcha.
So I don't know if I necessarily still feel like the game is irredeemable and deserves a spot in my trash can, but those were things that I had said in my review, and yeah, I think that's. It was also very difficult because I felt like I just had to brute force my way through it. But I'm sure that there were also, for people who really jived with the combat, I'm sure there were better ways to do it, right?
Was that game easier to swallow than Ys Fantasia though?
Ys Fantasia was okay. It was just rough voice acting, and
okay.
yeah, I mean that was really mostly it was the voice acting, and then other circumstances around the game that were really to do with the game itself that just made sometimes playing it tough. So
that's fair. As a bonus, the hardest game I've played so far is getting over it, because I still haven't gotten over it. I have not gotten over it. I played it drunk, I played it sober.
Wasn't that like a New Year's resolution or something?
No, it's just a goal at this point. Okay. I don't think it's not a New Year resolution per se, but like at some point in my life, like my bucket list is to get over it. I want to at least get over it. This is VTuber that I like watching, that she not only went from not being able to get over it, she also did it, I think 50 times.
Oh wow!
In order to get this, like, so every time that she got the golden pot from completing it 50 times. So I'm just like, if she can do it 50 times, I can do it one time, right? Like, and yeah, no, and she wasn't like particularly good at the game either. She took like at least like 10 streams just to get over it one time, and then she just kept doing it, and then before you know it, she could clear it in 15 minutes at a time. Wow. And I'm just like, I could clear at least one time. So there you go. That's the hardest game I have not gotten over yet.
Well,
I hate it.
From Bring Back Fluffy Dogs, they say Final Fantasy VII's No Eris revival was my hard to swallow. That unfinished story with the late game Midgar cutscene left a void.
Man,
spoilers! Oh my gosh.
Yeah, first of all, spoilers, sir. But also, I've tried every cheat code on the internet to try to bring Aerith back.
I know.
when Game Shark was like a thing and you plug it into like the back of your PS1. I tried.
Isn't there a way
everything.
with a Game Shark to like hack her back into your party? Like with a code.
Yes.
Like it doesn't do it like with a storyline, but you can like add her back to the party.
Yes, because we've been told many falsehood in the 90s and early 2000s about like hidden ways to bring her back, and I've tried everything.
Man, yeah. I remember back in the 90s, like people just didn't understand like what a Game Shark actually does, and people would just like try to like put in stuff randomly and see if you remember, like they would just like, oh god, I don't even know exactly what a Game Shark does, but it changes like some sort of key within the RAM
hex code.
Yeah, in RAM, but like yeah, people would just like I remember just trying to put in random crap to see what would happen.
That's not how it works.
I know it isn't.
It changes like the memory registry.
Exactly.
So, yeah.
Which is like basically trying to like just randomly type in machine code and hope that like something happens. But yeah, that was
that was
fun
weird.
stuff.
Yeah. But yeah, I even had the Game Shark Pro, man. Whatever the Pro does that the regular didn't, it still didn't bring Aerith back. So
I know.
Sad.
It's rough. A wound that may never heal. I'm
thanks a lot.
Talking about
thanks
ours, not Aerith's, but you know.
Yeah, thanks a lot, Fluffy Dogs. Man, I just
bringing up some rough memories.
We just got over that. In 2022. We just got over it as adults. And you just open.
I can't wait to not get over it again here in the next remake, maybe.
You know, I'm still thinking that they're gonna change the story up. I have every indication tells me that they're gonna change the story up. So I don't think people should expect the OG story played out.
All right. Well, I think that about does it for today's episode, guys. Thank you so much for hanging out with us. If you enjoyed today's episode, please be sure to like it and share it and on whatever podcasting platform you're currently enjoying it on. But yeah, I think that about does it for us for today. So Baku, are there any closing thoughts you'd like to leave the people with?
Stay safe for the upcoming holidays.
Yes.
Thanksgiving is coming up and Christmas and all that's coming up. So stay safe, stay warm, and try not to catch COVID.
Yeah. Also, keep your eyes peeled on our Twitter accounts because we'll probably let you guys know if we are going to skip a week, which is likely to happen around Thanksgiving and Christmas and stuff like that. So keep your eyes peeled there because that's how you'll know whether or not, we'll be taking off. We'll try to tell you in a week before, but
Yeah.
All
Absolutely.
right, guys. Have a great rest of your day. We'll see you guys in the next episode.
Good night. Bye now.